Hello brothers and sisters, Cameron here. Welcome to probably one of the most important vlogs that I've done so far. We're at the California State Capitol today, and I have another fellow activist helping out with some filming, which is super helpful. Over the past year and a half, I've been meeting with two activist groups, and we're looking at, all the things that have happened with, us as being ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, being born and raised into this cult, and what can we do to make things better. So we started looking at all their loopholes, all the court cases, talking to victims and abuse survivors and people who've gotten it out and who successfully were able to sue the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society like Candace Connie. We went over their cases, meeting a long time, and we started specifically looking at child abuse cases. We figured out their loopholes, and we figured out the illegal things that the Jehovah's Witnesses, Catholics, Mormons, and you name it, church that is not reporting child abuse were doing. Our whole goal is to make America a safer place, whether you're religious or not. My mother, it all started with her. She was born in San Francisco, California, raised as somewhat of a Catholic, but didn't really like how mean the nuns were, and they got her in college. She met some Jehovah's Witnesses and started studying with them. They convinced her that Satan, the devil, controlled the world and her family. And then she ran away from home and raised me as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, surrounded by nothing but Jehovah's Witnesses my entire life. And up until about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I figured out I was lied to, I was manipulated, they wasted our time, and then I was abused. I grew up wanting to make my mother proud, and we thought we were doing God's work to make a new world and convert as many people into Jehovah's Witnesses to save them. At a really early age, I was taken advantage of, and a man took advantage of the situation, and my mom kind of knew, so she asked me about it and went to the elders, and they told her, we'll take a look at this. It's in God's hands now. Jehovah God will take care of it in his own due time. Don't say anything about it. We don't want this to get out because we don't want to bring reproach on Jehovah's name. That's basically the statement that the Jehovah's Witness elders use. We don't want more attacks from Satan to come in and to look at what we're doing and to make God look bad, because we don't need that. Satan's already attacking us. We don't need more of it. And then nothing happened. A few years later, it happens again from a different guy in the Jehovah's Witnesses, and we go to the elders and they say the same thing. We'll take care of it. It's in God's hands now. Don't want to bring reproach on Jehovah's name, so don't say anything. Nothing happens. So in my entire life, I've grown up with these guys around. And I'm not alone in this. I'm not the only abuse survivor. There's over 20 million in attendance, yearly attendance for the Jehovah's Witnesses. This is a public safety issue at this point. This stuff still affects me to this day. Like, I have post-traumatic, stress syndrome, and I have to go see a therapist, and I'm trying my best and harder every single day to become a better person and fight depression and try to be a better man to make it better for myself and my own future. Because even though I'm a survivor, they continue to victimize all abuse survivors as victims with no outlet. So these people have massive depression, and some of them turn to drugs and alcohol or more abuse, and the cycle continues. And that's why we're here at the Capitol today. We have been meeting for over a year and a half, figuring what can we do to make things better, and that's where we've come up with the language for a bill called SB 360. We found a senator to take it up, Senator Hill, and we're making progress on this all the time. We need your support. We're spreading the word. We finally figured out something that we can do to make it better. It was still only a little over 2 years of my life that I realized that everything I've been taught to learn and do was a lie. So for example, the Australian Royal Commission a couple of years ago, they found over 1,000 unreported child sex abuse cases in Australia alone. And those are the only ones that they found, not to mention the ones that are not found. This is a public safety issue. It affects governments, business, nonprofits, the safety of your children, adults, and then also when these children grow into adults, they don't have to turn to drugs and alcohol. It's going to save the state. The state's a lot of money, less rehabilitation for these people, and more people living their lives normally without so much being messed up from all of this stuff. And it needs to end basically so we can just protect our children. The groups that I'm working with are filled with ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Mormons, ex-religious people, and people who are activists and want to do the right thing. So what's happened is over the past 100 years, these churches have been working together. The Catholics and Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses have been lobbying behind their members' backs to hide child abuse. And they've come up with something called a Clergy-Penitent Privilege. The fact that it's even called a privilege is disgusting to me. And what it does is if someone is molested or raped or taken advantage of in their church, kingdom hall, temple, whatever it is, the church does not have to report it legally by law. Whereas if you're working for a government job or a regular business or a nonprofit, you have to report that. And these guys have made themselves a little exemption, which is absolutely disgusting, and it needs to end. So we found this loophole. We're getting SB 360 eliminates the exemption, and what we're hoping to do is hopefully that will go all the way through with the least amount of amendments as possible. And we're trying to make this exemption go away because it does not need to exist. I think most people can agree that having an exemption for clergy members to not have to report this stuff it just doesn't make any sense. So and by doing all of this, SB 360, Senator Hill, we need your support. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you hit that bell notification so that way you can see every time we put an upload. We're going to be putting out more content like this because we can make change in America. It's already happened in Australia. They don't have clergy-penitent privilege. This is just our first step to making massive change in the United States and make it safer, whether you're religious or not, for your children to be in a church environment. We also have a Patreon going. If you can find me at Cameron Fader, every dollar is going to go back to this type of work. We need your support. Spread the word. Find me on Instagram at Cameron Fader. You can see some posts that we already have done, and you'll be seeing more content on the YouTube channel, plus private content that will be going to Patreon exclusively, where you can find out more things of how you can get involved, ask us questions, and make a difference. Now, I can't change my past, but I can for damn sure change the future. Until next time, brothers and sisters, the universe is telling us to protect our children. I will see you in the next video. Whew, I think, how did that go? Is that one take?